Hello, my name is Valeria Frunze and I'm running an estate agency specialized in property investment, property development and portfolio management. I will comment on the new legislation that came in and was implemented from the 1st of January. It's in regards to the 13% VAT towards any bookings that we get on short-term tenancies. And I want to comment the goods and bads about it. So I will start with the bad parts that are bringing some sort of liabilities or inconveniences for everyone who does short-term rentals on a professional basis. So I will point out several stuff. So we are in January right now, and we're entering in an off-season on short-term rentals in globally most of the time. And off-season, what that means? Off-season means that we will have less occupancies, less bookings, and we will have budget travelers. So in this particular case, in order for us to have cash flow and guarantee some sort of return to our clients, we will have to drop the prices, sometimes even with 30%, in order to have enough bookings or have a 70% occupancies to our portfolio. So that's already a liability and a loss towards this portfolio. The second part is that we have a very high competition right now because, as you know, every single neighbor has an Airbnb right now. So every second person in Greece have a second apartment that they decided to do Airbnb. So that's like a high competitors, and we have to deal with the amateurs coming into the market and doing a hospitality business with like minimum knowledge that they got it from Google or some other bloggers like me. And then we have the pain in our butt, the 13% extra that we have to add for each reservation we get. Right, the 13% extra can be juggled in two different ways. So one way, you can add it to the price and charge the guests, like you charge the cleaning fee or the extra guest fee, but that will increase the price, and there will be a higher possibility that you'll not get bookings. Because what are the two main things that a traveler or your guest will look at before they book the apartment? Is price and location. So price is the most important element when we are booking an apartment or a hotel. So we will lose revenue if the price is too high. So that it's something to play with and figure it out how we do that, or deduct 13% from whatever price you have already. But let's consider that we already dropped the prices with 20 or 30% because we are on off season, and then we have to add another 13%, for the VAT. So that is somehow significant, and it will affect the cash flow, the amount of the cash flow that will come through in the next couple of months. And as well, maybe because it's so many fees involved on that particular business, will eliminate the amateurs of the market. So when I say amateurs, this particular law is implemented for those who have more than 3 apartments running as a holiday let. And obviously, these people, if they don't have a company registered, then they will have tremendous cash flow issues within this year. So sometimes to take a better decision for the cash flow and for the return on the investment, many apartments will go from short-term rentals into long-term rentals. And this is a very interesting matter because that will push the market into a next level and maybe reduce the inflation. I think this is the main reason why government added the 13% to the short-term rentals, because there are too many apartments that are circulating on short-term rental platforms, and there is no long-term rental apartments available in Central Athens, for example. So it creates some sort of disbalance between the long-term rental and short-term rentals. But I will discuss that. I will elaborate or dissolve this matter in a different podcast. Now, we're going back to the 13%. The 13% have some advantages to the corporates and the big fishes. So, as I explained, maybe this legislation is being implemented first to protect the hotels because they have a bigger importance in this industry. Let's do not forget that tourism and hospitality is one of the main economy booster in Greece. So they don't want all the amateurs coming and literally stealing the hotel's clientele. That creates a very big gap and a big loss towards the hotel. Why? Because on Airbnb, you can host, let's say, one-bedroom apartment, you can host up to 4 people. So you will rent an Airbnb apartment maybe for the same price as a hotel room, which can host only 2. So you're literally stealing clientele for 2 rooms from the hotel. And obviously that creates big losses and bad activities on the hospitality side. Right. Now, the other side is that the property management companies and those who have a company registered and pay tax and pay VAT will have some sort of an advantage out of that 13%. Now, it's very complicated to understand, but if you play with the numbers and you read a little bit about the taxes, then you'll understand that that adds value to your business activities. So, as a company, we pay 24% VAT to any purchase we do towards that apartment, anything including sometimes invoicing our client. So that's a loss towards us. And then we have a 13% income from the rentals that we get for each rental that goes into the short-term rentals and goes on our company. So we have a balance of 11% between the 24 and the 13. So the 11%, it can actually be some sort of a profit or a VAT balance, if you have expenses. But as a company, as a corporate, you always have expenses because every single property has maintenance and cleaning and bedding and electricity and all these things. So if you balance your expenses with the 13% VAT, then that will be a balance, a plus on your balance sheet in a way. So that's the good part. And the good part for the corporate and the big fishes is that the amateurs will slowly go out because they will start struggling in the next couple of months with their cash flow, obviously. And then when they hit the bill for the 13% plus the other 15 or whatever else tax they pay, then they will realize that the property is worth putting on long-term rentals than keeping it on booking.com. Now, I will tell another thing that is affecting the whole industry. We all rent our apartments on booking.com. This is the main supplier of bookings. And then Airbnb, VRBO, HomeAway, and all the rest. So booking.com is already charging us 15% platform fee. And then most of our corporates, we don't have a separate team that will charge the cards from the clients. So booking.com will charge an extra 1.4% for charging the cars of our guests. So it's 16.4% towards Booking.com for just introducing us to our guests. Then you have minimum 15% tax for your rental income. So that's already 31.4% money thrown to the air, as we call it. It's not to the air because it's part of the business. You will not get bookings otherwise, and obviously you have to pay tax. And then you have the other costs like management fees if you have a company that manages it for you. And normally the companies in Greece, they charge 15 to 25% management fee. So you have at least 60% kind of soft costs on each booking you have, on each reservation. So if you have €100 booking, you will get, as an owner, 40%. Yeah, €40, or even less sometimes, because you have cleaning fees, you have maintenance and other matters. So that is a very big amount to spend on soft cost. And also this is what exactly adds to the inflation on the property rentals and in general on property market. So I think what is the government trying to do is to reduce inflation and eliminate the small fishes from the sea and keep only the big players on the market. And it's the right thing to do because the big corporates, they do risk assessment, they do professional statistics, we do the right decision on how to handle this particular matter, and also we pay tax. So we employ people and we have costs and so on and so on. So I think this year will be a very interesting year.